of your identity. Did this feel like that?
Yeah, it did. I mean, we held them to 103 points and 42% shooting. Fought like crazy defensively. Took care of the ball. Got out and ran. I felt like our team, and I think Dennis. You could see Dennis's impact tonight on the game, but also what he's going to mean to our team. His leadership, the way he was pulling guys aside during the timeout to talk to them, encouraging them, even admonishing them when they needed to be admonished. So we need Dennis's leadership, but his ball handling, the way he takes pressure off of Steph, that I think that allowed Steph to stay fresh and close the game out the way he did. So felt like a really good night for our team. We needed the win, obviously, but I did feel like we got kind of back to who we are.
And how do you get that kind of night from Trace and Brandon more consistently going forward?
Yeah, well, we got to lean into Trace. I think he started the season well. Started the first 15 whatever games, and because of different circumstances, we went away from him, and he's really responded well. But having a big who can finish like that in the paint makes a big difference. You could see that tonight.
The defense, second quarter, and then down the stretch, what did you see on that side of the ball tonight?
Just a lot of energy, a lot of force and defending without fouling, forcing the shots that we wanted them to take. They missed some that they're normally going to make too, so it's not like we were perfect, but I think the game connected for us tonight. We took care of the ball, so we weren't vulnerable in transition. That's always a huge factor defensively when you can play in the half court. And then when we got in the half court, guys did a really good job.
Andrew in particular, with his play on Ant and Randall, how impactful was he on that end?
Yeah, Wiggs did not have his best night offensively, so I was really proud of him for the way he finished the game. He had that huge block on Randall's turnaround. I thought that was kind of the backbreaker. And I love when guys have a defensive night when things aren't going well, because it's what it's all about. You got to compete and play no matter what's happening, and Wiggs was a big factor in the win tonight, and despite the fact that his shots weren't going.
Steve, was Draymond precautionary?
No, he tweaked something this morning at shoot-around, and it didn't clear up, and so we definitely weren't going to put him out there. It's really fun to see Kyle out there, on his old home court. The reception he got from the crowd was fantastic. There's a reason Kyle is beloved everywhere he goes. The ultimate pro. He's meant so much to us this year, leadership-wise, and helped us in a big way tonight, getting a win against his old team. So it was fun to see Kyle have that kind of night.
Have you ever gone through a delay like that for a net?
No, I've seen net problems, but they're usually resolved a little quicker. I had no idea there was this metal ring underneath the net. I saw them remove the ring, and I didn't even know that existed. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should be that complex, but apparently it is.
Were Steph's minutes in that second half by design, or did something happen in the game that impacted you not having him at the end of the third to start the fourth and didn't bring him away?
Yeah, Dennis's fourth foul. Once he picked up his fourth, I told Steph in the timeout, I said, I'm going to run you, take Dennis out early. I didn't want Dennis to pick up his fifth, and normally Dennis would stay in until the 3 or 4 minute mark. So I flipped their rotations, and it felt like the right thing to do. And it's something we'll consider. We of course we always want Steph to feel confident and comfortable in his rotation, and we've tried everything this year and a million starting lineups and all that stuff, but we'll get there. But I love having that option to have either Dennis or Steph on the floor at all times.
Is the Kuminga starting the game at power forward? Is that experiment over?
Not necessarily. I mean, you just don't know how circumstances are going to play out. I felt really good about Kyle starting tonight with Trace, with Dennis. It just seemed like a better lineup combination. J.K. played well off the bench. You don't know how these things are going to shake out.
Going back to the crunch time, just the finish. What kind of carryover can that have closing a game when that's been a struggle this year?
Yeah, that can give you confidence. We got stops, and I love the possession where Steph got off the ball and we went swing. I think he threw it to either Trace or Gary in the pocket. Swing to Wiggs. Wiggs swings it to Dennis. It comes back to Steph. That's the game right there, and that's what we're trying to impart on our young players. We have Steph Curry on our team. So pass the ball, move the ball, and if Steph gets off it early because he's gained an advantage, now the defense is scrambling. And this is how we've played for 10 years, and it's important for our young players to understand. We don't need contested 17-footers with 12 on the shot clock, right? That's a bad shot. And I talked to our guys about that during several timeouts. It's something we have to recognize and get better with. When you have Steph Curry on the team, you pass the ball, because you pass it 2 or 3 times, the defense is scrambling, all hell breaks loose. So it's a choice. We can either do that and win games, or we can shoot, a whole bunch of 15-foot contested shots in the middle of the shot clock and be a lousy NBA team. It's up to us, and we are hammering that point home with our team. Thank you.
Thank you.